Have you ever wondered why some individuals seem to effortlessly attract prosperity while others remain ensnared in cycles of scarcity? This video transcends the commonplace discourse on the law of attraction. It is a prophetic map, unveiling 14 spiritual keys capable of unlocking abundance, purpose, and fulfillment in your life. Within these segments, you will ascertain how to harmonize your mind, emotions, and actions with the universe's energy to manifest wealth, opportunities, and inner peace. If you perceive yourself as stuck, perpetually reliving the same financial or emotional predicaments, this video may represent the pivotal turning point you require. Each principle has been meticulously crafted to revolutionize your mindset and your capacity to attract in a manner that is both practical and profoundly spiritual. Therefore, I pose this question to you. Are you weary of exerting considerable effort for meager returns? Would you finally grasp how to wield the law of attraction with clarity and efficacy? If your response is affirmative, I implore you to remain with me until the conclusion, for this video will not only illuminate the path to attracting prosperity, but will guide you toward a life lived in perpetual abundance every single day. 1. Wealth begins in the mind. When God intends to transform your life, He commences with your mind. Nothing undergoes external alteration until an internal shift occurs. You are not impoverished due to deficiencies in your bank account. Your entrapment stems from the residual beliefs that sabotage your prosperity. And herein lies the prophetic truth. The external world is merely a reflection of the inner world. Where you conceive small, life contracts. Where you envision grandly, life expands. Poverty is not a number, it is a state of consciousness. Wealth is not a value, it is a frequency. When you believe that money is hard to come by, or that you weren't born to prosper, these words become invisible shackles in your life. But when you decide to declare, I am worthy, I am prosperous, I am abundant, something shifts in the unseen realm. Thought is the seed. The harvest is reality. Wayne Dyer used to tell the metaphor of the orange. When you squeeze an orange juice comes out because that's what's inside. And I ask you, when life squeezes you, what comes out of you? Does fear, anger, scarcity come out? Or does faith, courage, and trust in the flow come out? What comes out is what was already inside. And until you change what you carry within yourself, nothing will change outside of you. This is the first key. Exchange limiting thoughts for expansive declarations. Instead of saying, I can't handle money, declare, I am learning to thrive. Instead of repeating, I am broken, declare, I am a magnet for abundance. Because every thought carries an energy, and every word forges a path. You do not describe your reality. You declare and create your reality. Now tell me, how many times have you called yourself unlucky, jinxed, or incapable? How many times have you cursed your own future with the words that left your lips? Listen to this. The mind is fertile ground, and you are always sowing. If you plant scarcity, you reap misery. If you plant gratitude, you reap prosperity. There is no neutrality. Every thought is a living seed. You cannot stop thinking, but you can choose what to think about. That is the key. And if you decide to nourish thoughts of expansion, life will respond in kind. This is not empty mysticism. It is the spiritual law that governs the universe. As you believe, so it shall be. And belief is nothing more than thought sustained with emotion. Where you focus, you go. Where you think, you create. Therefore, today I tell you, true change begins not in the wallet, but in the consciousness. When you change your mind, your life changes. When you change your frequency, your reality aligns. Poverty is a prison built with thoughts. Prosperity is the liberation that springs from a renewed mind. The key is simple. Change your thinking, and you will change your destiny. Now that you understand that wealth begins within your mind, we need to discuss something even more profound. Guilt, that invisible energy that destroys your divine right to prosper. 2. Guilt is a wealth killer. If there is an energy capable of silently blocking prosperity, its name is guilt. Guilt for wanting more. Guilt for growing. Guilt for earning when others do not. This emotion is a disguised thief, stealing from you the divine right to abundance. Listen to this. Money does not flee from you. but guilt erects invisible walls that push wealth away. And as long as these walls exist, opportunities will never reach you. Guilt, shame, and fear are low, heavy, dense frequencies. They are like chains shackled to your feet as you attempt to chase your dreams. You strive, yet it feels as though you never arrive. And why? Because the vibration of guilt repels the flow of abundance. The universe does not respond to what you say you want. The universe responds to what you vibrate. And when you vibrate guilt, you attract blockage. Have you ever noticed how at times, upon achieving something, an inner voice whispers, "You don't deserve this. You shouldn't have it. You're betraying your roots"? That voice isn't your soul. It's scarcity programming. If you were raised hearing that money was bad, that rich people are wicked, that prosperity means distancing yourself from God, you've carried guilt like a cursed inheritance. But today I tell you, wealth is not betrayal. It's an instrument of multiplication. Guilt makes you feel ashamed to shine, and then you hide. Guilt makes you apologize for having more when you should be thankful for being able to share more. When you say, "I don't deserve this," the universe simply responds, "If you don't deserve it, I won't send it." And thus, abundance recedes. But when you say with gratitude, "Thank you, Lord, for all that I have and all that is to come," the flow opens. Gratitude undoes guilt. Now tell me, how many times have you downplayed your achievements to avoid inconveniencing someone? How many times have you felt bad for desiring more? This is the emotional prison of guilt. It prevents you from living life to the fullest. The secret is simple. Money isn't dirty. Money isn't betrayal. Money isn't a burden. Money is energy. And if used with love, it becomes the key to blessing your life and the lives of many around you. When you live on the frequency of gratitude, you connect with the vibration of abundance. When you live on the frequency of guilt, you connect with the vibration of scarcity. It is impossible to receive great blessings when your heart resonates with regret for receiving them. Therefore, begin today by declaring, "I am worthy of prosperity. I am deserving of abundance. I receive without guilt and share with joy." Guilt is a silent wealth killer, but today that chain has been broken. You no longer have to apologize for thriving. You don't need to shrink yourself to fit into environments of scarcity. Your growth is an offering to the world, and the more you have, the more you can give. Eliminate guilt, and you will unlock the doors to abundance. If guilt destroys wealth, there's a second pitfall many fall into, believing that being rich is solely about making money. However, true prosperity extends far beyond that. 3. Being rich isn't just about making money. Being wealthy isn't merely about earning a high salary or possessing a bulging bank account. True affluence lies in how you utilize what you receive. How many individuals earn considerably yet perpetually live in debt? How many achieve substantial assets but lack the acumen to grow, invest, or even savor them? Wealth is not dictated by the volume of income, but by your relationship with your finances. If you fail to honor what you possess, what arrives will not endure. Making money is only one facet of the equation. True wealth lies in knowing how to manage, in learning to multiply, and in cultivating both financial and spiritual wisdom. Individuals who fail to foster gratitude for what little they have will also find themselves ungrateful for abundance. And where gratitude is absent, prosperity inevitably dwindles. The law is unequivocal. The universe only amplifies in the lives of those who honor what they already possess. There is also the art of learning to receive. Many block prosperity because they don't know how to welcome generosity. Someone pays for a coffee, offers help, and the person insists on refusing. It seems like humility, but in reality, it's resistance. And all resistance closes the flow of abundance. The universe loves it when you say, "Thank you, I accept." Because those who receive with an open heart also learn to give with a generous heart. I tell you, prosperity is a continuous flow, giving and receiving, being grateful and sharing. Money is like river water. When it flows, it brings life. But when it's dammed, it creates stagnation. If you only seek to gain without learning to value, you are denying the cycle. If you only spend without planting, you are wasting the river of abundance. True wealth is learning to be part of this divine movement. Many conflate status with prosperity. They believe wealth entails ostentation, display, and impressing others. However, this is not the essence of abundance. True wealth is freedom. It is peace. It is having enough for oneself and enough to bless others. It is knowing that money serves your mission and not the other way around. He who becomes a slave to money forfeits his wealth, even if he still possesses material goods. Prosperity is a state of the soul. Begin, then, by transforming your relationship with money. Be grateful for every amount that comes your way, whether it's a single coin or a substantial sum. Ask your money, where do you wish to go? Employ it consciously, multiply it wisely, welcome it with gratitude, and give it back to the world in the form of generosity. This is the mindset of the truly affluent. Money is not an end, but a tool. Prosperity isn't merely about earning. It encompasses nurturing, multiplying, receiving, and giving. It's about grasping that true affluence resides not in numerical figures, but in the energy you invest in your relationship with every resource that comes your way. It's not about the quantity that enters, but about what endures, what flourishes, and what flows. And remember this: he who does not honor the little will never possess the much, but he who honors even the little will pave the way for the infinite. Now that you understand that wealth is not merely about earning, but about honoring and multiplying, we must address the next key: investing in yourself first, before spending on anything else. 4. Invest first, spend later. Here is a straightforward law that bifurcates the impoverished from the affluent. The former spend first and then invest, if anything remains. The latter invest first and then spend, if feasible. This ordering of priorities fundamentally alters destinies, because when you prioritize investment, you are effectively declaring to the universe, I have greater faith in my future than in my present. This is the fundamental tenet of those who flourish, sowing seeds today to reap a harvest tomorrow. Every time you receive, a spiritual choice unfolds before you, to sow or to squander. He who spends everything unconsciously declares a disbelief in harvest. He who invests professes faith in growth. Listen, money is a seed, and every seed planted multiplies. But eaten seed dies in the stomach. What are you doing with the seeds God has placed in your hands? Investing isn't confined to the financial markets. It's about investing in yourself, your knowledge, your skills, your mind, because what resides within you can never be plundered. The world may transform, corporations may collapse, currencies may devalue, but the wisdom you possess will generate enduring wealth through all circumstances. Investing in oneself is the most secure path to prosperity. Consider this: every real you save or invest isn't just money, it's freedom. It means less dependency, less anxiety, less frantic striving. Conversely, every real spent impulsively becomes a chain binding you to scarcity. This is why those who flourish possess discipline. Before indulging a fleeting desire, they provide for their future. Investing first is an act of self-love and prophetic foresight. How many times have you bought something to impress people who don't even care about you? How many times have you spent on fleeting pleasures only to suffer from debt afterward? This is the illusion of scarcity, the pursuit of immediate gratification at the expense of the future. But the wise understand this: those who forgo the immediate build the permanent. Those who sacrifice today conquer tomorrow. Patience is the virtue of prosperity. Then establish this golden rule: when money arrives, I invest first, then I spend. It can be 10%, 20% or more, but always honor the future before the present. This simple act sends a clear message to the universe: I am worthy of more because I know how to manage what I already have. And remember, the universe does not increase what is squandered, but multiplies in the life of those who honor. Investing first is living by vision, not by impulse. It's planting before you eat. It's trusting in the harvest before you even see it sprout. Those who live this way never go without. Those who practice this law always overflow, because when you invest first, you open the doors to future abundance. And I declare, your tomorrow will be greater than your today, because you are choosing to sow before you spend. Now that you've learned to invest first and spend later, it's time to grasp another essential principle. Prosperity isn't just about money, it's about relationships. Your network of connections can open or close doors to abundance. 5. Prosperity is also relationships. Prosperity isn't solely about figures in a bank account. Prosperity is also the caliber of the people who walk alongside you. The most potent wealth one can possess is healthy relationships, connections that uplift, inspire, and fortify. This is because a single contact can unlock opportunities that money could never procure. The right advice can avert losses that would otherwise cost fortunes. Your network of connections is an integral part of your patrimony. There's an invisible law. You are the average of the people you spend the most time with. If you're surrounded by negative, limited, and defeated individuals, you'll inevitably be dragged down. But if you choose to associate with visionary, abundant, and faithful people, your mindset will expand. Relationships are like keys. Some lock, others open doors. Wisdom lies in learning to choose wisely who you walk with. Prosperity also hinges on how you treat others. If you interact with people solely based on what they can offer you, you cultivate self-interest. However, when you engage with them through respect, honor, and generosity, you foster connections of genuine value. Money can acquire possessions, but it cannot purchase loyalty, love, or trust. These are the invisible treasures, yet they form the bedrock of all true abundance. How many have lost fortunes because they failed to value a relationship? How many have squandered opportunities by disregarding people? The universe invariably operates through individuals. The job you landed, the partnership that blossomed, the door that opened, all originated through someone. Treat every relationship as a seed of prosperity. Nurture it with attentiveness, and you will reap abundant rewards. Prosperity also entails learning to sever toxic ties. Individuals who drain your energy, mock your aspirations, or compete rather than collaborate are impediments to your flow of abundance. The prophetic message here is unequivocal. One cannot connect to the infinite while persistently clinging to the finite. Love all, but choose with discernment those who will be granted access to your inner circle. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, who push you forward, who celebrate your achievements rather than envy them. These relationships are like nourishment for your soul. Prosperity is a bountiful table, but that table only holds meaning when you can share it. One who walks alone may go swiftly, but one who walks in alliance journeys much farther. Prosperity is also about relationships, because wealth isn't merely accumulation, it's overflow. True abundance isn't measured by what you hoard, but by what you share. The universe rewards those who know how to honor people. Money comes and goes, but the value of an enduring relationship remains. Invest in people, because the right people multiply your prosperity in every area of life. Now that you understand that prosperity is also about relationships, let's delve into an even more profound truth. Wealth first begins in the mind, before it manifests in reality. 6. Wealth begins in the mind. Before money reaches your hands, it must first reach your mind. The mind is the soil in which all prosperity is planted. If your thoughts are of scarcity, fear, and limitation, you will perpetually live beneath your potential. However, when your mind is programmed for abundance, the universe reciprocates your mindset. You will never attain externally what you have not first conquered internally. Poverty is a state of mind before it is a financial condition. People can win the lottery and still go bankrupt because they haven't changed their mindset. Conversely, others, starting from nothing, build empires because they have cultivated the correct mentality. The mind is the vault of your prosperity. If it remains locked by fear, you will never access abundance. Therefore, it is essential to tend to your thoughts as if they were seeds. Every idea you nurture cultivates an atmosphere. Thoughts of scarcity breed limitations, while thoughts of abundance unlock opportunities. What you repeatedly affirm in your mind crystallizes into belief, and what you believe manifests into reality. If you desire a life of prosperity, commence by disciplining the landscape of your mind. Mental wealth is visualizing before materializing. It is seeing with the eyes of faith before seeing with natural eyes. Great conquerors have always seen beyond the present moment. They carried within their minds a vision grander than reality. The future is first created in the imagination, and then built with one's hands. If you do not see prosperity within yourself, you will not see it outside yourself. Therefore, repeat, declare, prophesy. I am prosperous. I am abundant. I am worthy of wealth. Strategic repetition reprograms your mind. Each affirmation is like a key that unlocks invisible locks. The universe responds to the frequency of what you believe to be true. Do not declare what is lacking, declare what is already yours. Because wealth begins in thought, but it manifests in the word. Guard your mind like a treasure. Ward off negative words, fear-mongering news, conversations that diminish your dreams. Replace all of that with content that uplifts, inspires, and broadens your perspective. The mind is akin to a garden. If you do not plant flowers, weeds will proliferate. Consciously choose what will germinate within you. True wealth originates in the mind, for the mind is the crucible of your outcomes. Those who harbor small aspirations lead diminutive lives. Conversely, those who envision grand possibilities experience continuous expansion. The mind is inherently prophetic. It perpetually crafts the tableau of tomorrow. Consequently, attune your thoughts to divine abundance. Visualize, declare, and embody it. Because that which already resides within you will inevitably manifest externally. This is the immutable law of prosperity. Transitioning to the next chapter. Now that you've grasped that wealth begins in the mind, it's time to delve into a deeper level. The power of a grateful heart as a magnet for prosperity. 7. Gratitude, the magnet of prosperity. Paragraph. Gratitude is the key that unlocks the doors to abundance. It transforms scarcity into plenty, the ordinary into the extraordinary, and the mundane into the miraculous. When you express gratitude, you declare to the universe, I recognize the value of what I already possess and am ready to receive more. Those who cannot appreciate what little they have will never be entrusted with much. This is because gratitude is the language of those who flourish. Scarcity begins in the murmuring heart. Those who complain obstruct the flow of prosperity. Grumbling shuts doors. Gratitude opens pathways. The universe responds to a grateful heart as iron responds to a magnet. If you awaken with thanks, you are already tuning your frequency to abundance. Gratitude does not deny difficulties, but declares that something greater than problems exists, the presence of the Creator. Gratitude is not merely uttering thank you. It is living with an awareness of the value inherent in every detail. It is perceiving opportunity within every challenge and recognizing that each stage of the journey serves a distinct purpose. When you express gratitude, you draw further reasons to be thankful. Gratitude cultivates a virtuous cycle. The more you give thanks, the more blessings arrive. It is akin to opening an unceasing portal to prosperity. Gratitude also transforms the mind and heart. A grateful person does not allow themselves to be overcome by envy, comparison, or anxiety. They understand that everything arrives in its own time. Gratitude is the peace that strengthens faith, and faith that sustains prosperity. Those who give thanks attract. Those who complain repel. The choice is in your hands every day, to complain or to be grateful. Cultivate gratitude as a daily practice. Upon waking, before even checking your phone, acknowledge 3 things for which you are thankful. Before sleeping, conclude your day by recognizing what was positive. These simple actions cultivate an atmosphere of abundance surrounding you. What you focus on expands. And when you focus on gratitude, your life naturally flourishes with prosperity and fulfillment. Gratitude not only attracts material wealth, but also spiritual, emotional, and relational richness. Relationships blossom when there is recognition and honor. Health improves with contentment. Doors open when there is a grateful heart. Gratitude is an invisible energy that touches every facet of life. Therefore, those who give thanks are never left wanting. They perpetually overflow. Gratitude is the magnet of prosperity because it shifts your vibration, and the universe always reciprocates on the same frequency as what you emit. If you vibrate scarcity, you receive scarcity. If you vibrate gratitude, you receive abundance. Give thanks before you receive, and you will receive sooner than you imagine. A grateful heart is a living prophecy. It calls into existence the prosperity that is already reserved for you. Now that you understand that gratitude is the magnet of prosperity, let's explore another powerful spiritual principle: forgiveness as the key to unlocking abundance. 8. Forgiveness frees abundance. Forgiveness is one of the most potent spiritual keys to unlocking prosperity. Harboring resentment is akin to carrying invisible chains that weigh down your life. Bitterness saps your energy, paralyzes your emotions, and obstructs the channels of abundance. To forgive is not to forget what was done, but to emancipate yourself from the burden that prevents you from moving forward. Those who forgive make room for the new. Many do not flourish because they are tethered to old wounds. Each time the pain is recalled, the imprisonment is relived. Forgiveness is the prophetic act of releasing the shackles of the past. It does not condone the other's transgression, but rather liberates you from the power that transgression held over your life. As long as you harbor resentment, prosperity finds no room to enter. Forgiveness is an act of spiritual courage. It is not weakness, it is strength. It is not submission, it is liberation. Because when you forgive, you sever ties of negative energy and open a portal to greater blessings. Forgiveness purifies the heart and prepares the ground for abundance to flourish. It is like opening a dam. When you release, the waters flow again. Understand this. Prosperity and resentment cannot coexist within the same heart. You may labor diligently, you may amass great wealth, but if you harbor animosity, you will never truly experience fulfillment. The genuinely affluent individual is one who sleeps soundly, possesses a light spirit, and finds joy in their soul. Forgiveness is prosperity in its most unadulterated form, as it restores inner peace. Forgiveness is also sowing. When you grant forgiveness, you open the door to being forgiven in return. When you extend mercy, the universe extends mercy toward you. Prosperity is drawn to hearts that are clean and unburdened. The more you release what holds you captive, the more swiftly you connect to what elevates you. Perhaps the most challenging forgiveness is forgiving oneself. But without it, you will live by sabotaging yourself. Carrying guilt is living in self-imprisonment. When you forgive yourself, you reconcile with your own history and allow yourself to start anew. Self-forgiveness is the key that unlocks self-esteem, and self-esteem is the foundation for creating prosperity. Forgiveness unleashes abundance because it reconciles you with the natural flow of life. Where there is resentment, there is stagnation. Where there is forgiveness, there is movement, growth, and multiplication. To forgive is to make room for the Creator to act in your story. Resentment closes doors. Forgiveness opens heavens. Those who forgive live freely, lightly, and are poised to prosper in every area. Now that you understand that forgiveness liberates abundance, we need to delve into another spiritual secret: generosity as the seed that multiplies riches. 9. Generosity, the seed of multiplication. Generosity is the law of sowing in action. Everything you plant sooner or later returns multiplied. He who holds on to more than he needs lives trapped in scarcity. He who shares lives freely in the flow of abundance. The generous person never impoverishes themselves, because every seed they release is a prophecy of future harvest. The hand that gives is the same hand that receives. Fear prompts many to hoard their resources, but faith emboldens the generous heart to trust in the divine cycle. Just as the farmer fears not loss when casting seed upon the earth, so too the generous individual fears not giving, for they understand that each act of kindness is an investment in the unseen. Generosity does not impoverish, it multiplies. It is an unbreakable spiritual law. True prosperity is not measured by how much you accumulate, but by how much you overflow. Individuals rich in essence always have something to share: time, knowledge, support, resources. Prosperity flows, it never stagnates. When you allow abundance to circulate, the universe ensures you will never be wanting. Generosity is also a test of trust. The Creator entrusts more to those he can rely on. He who is faithful in little will be placed over much. If you share when you have little, you will be trusted with much. If you withhold when you have little, you will always remain at the fringe. Generosity is the password that unlocks new levels of prosperity. Furthermore, generosity dismantles selfishness, which is one of the most formidable adversaries of prosperity. The selfish individual harbors the belief that the universe is finite. The generous soul understands that the universe is abundant. The selfish hoard and lose, the generous share and gain. The more you give, the more you signal to the universe your readiness to receive. Generosity also forges invisible connections. An act of kindness can open doors that no resume ever could. A seed sown today may blossom into relationships, opportunities, and miracles tomorrow. The generous build bridges where the selfish erect walls. Prosperity thrives on the fertile ground of generosity. Generosity is the seed of multiplication. For no one plants a seed and reaps only that single seed. The harvest is always greater than the planting. He who sows sparingly reaps sparingly. He who sows bountifully reaps bountifully. If you desire prosperity in all areas, become a constant sower. Abundance invariably follows the generous. Now that you've discovered generosity as the seed of multiplication, we must delve into the next principle, the importance of discipline and consistency in building prosperity. 10. Discipline, the bedrock of prosperity. Discipline is the bedrock that underpins genuine prosperity. Without discipline, even grand aspirations crumble. It is discipline that transmutes good intentions into tangible outcomes. Discipline is the bridge between vision and achievement. The disciplined individual plants seeds daily, even when inclination falters, for they comprehend that the harvest hinges upon constancy. Many begin with enthusiasm, but few persevere. Discipline is not about starting strong, but about not giving up. The universe rewards constancy, not merely flashes of effort. Discipline is the proof that you honor what you desire. The undisciplined pray for prosperity, but do not build habits that sustain abundance. Discipline is spiritual because it shapes character. It teaches patience, perseverance, and resilience. Those who are disciplined demonstrate maturity before the Creator. Prosperity without discipline devolves into wastefulness. Discipline is a channel, a restraint, an order through which abundance can flow without being squandered. Do not confuse discipline with rigidity. Discipline is not imprisonment, it is freedom. True discipline creates space for abundance to manifest without chaos. It is like a river. If it has no banks, it becomes a flood. But if it is well defined, it becomes a force that generates life wherever it flows. Prosperity is thus. It requires discipline as its banks. Discipline resides in the minutiae. Rising early, managing your time, controlling your expenditures, nourishing your mind with wisdom. These are unpretentious yet potent choices that sculpt destinies. Prosperity is forged in routine, not in isolated instances. He who conquers the day conquers life. Discipline is also self-control. It is refusing to surrender to immediate temptations in order to live out a greater purpose. The undisciplined person exchanges the future for momentary pleasure, while the disciplined person plants today to harvest eternally. Discipline is not the enemy of joy. It is the guardian of fulfillment. It ensures that you reap lasting rewards. Discipline is the bedrock of prosperity, for it underpins everything you construct. Without discipline, even the greatest abundance dissipates. With discipline, even a little multiplies. Cultivate discipline in your thoughts, in your actions, in your habits. The universe honors constancy and bestows prosperity upon those prepared to sustain it. Now that you understand that discipline is the bedrock of prosperity, let's delve into another essential pillar, unshakable faith as the fuel of abundance. 11. Unwavering faith, the fuel of abundance. Faith is the invisible force that moves mountains and carves pathways where no trails exist. Without faith, prosperity becomes mere human endeavor. With faith, prosperity becomes supernatural. Unwavering faith is divine fuel. It transmutes impossibilities into open doors and activates miracles that logic cannot fathom. Unwavering faith is not contingent upon circumstances. Even in the face of scarcity, a heart brimming with faith proclaims abundance. Even in the desert, faith already perceives the oasis. Faith does not wait to see in order to believe. It believes in order to see. It is the inner certainty that prosperity already exists, even if it has not yet manifested in the natural realm. Many give up because their faith is contingent upon time. They desire for everything to transpire swiftly, yet they overlook that time is merely an instrument of the Creator. Unwavering faith remains steadfast, even when nothing alters in one's surroundings. It declares, "I know it will happen because it is already inscribed in the divine plan." Faith is akin to a muscle. The more it is exercised, the stronger it becomes. It is in adversity that faith is honed. Every challenge serves as a spiritual gymnasium for fortifying your confidence. When you persevere in faith, you transmit a signal to the universe. I am ready to receive. Prosperity does not yield to the hesitant, but to the steadfast. Unwavering faith also engenders positive expectation. A heart brimming with faith does not fear the future, it celebrates it. It does not awaken dreading what is to come, but rather with anticipation for what will manifest. Faith prophesies victory even before the battle commences. A mind aligned with faith attracts the impossible. Unwavering faith attracts abundance because it connects you directly to the source. When you believe, you align yourself with the Creator, who owns all wealth. Faith opens doors that human effort cannot. Prosperity flows naturally when you live in complete trust, without wavering, without doubting, without retreating. Faith is more than just believing. It's living as if you've already received. It's aligning your words, thoughts, and actions with the abundance you've already declared. Those who live by faith never live in scarcity because faith attracts, builds, and manifests. Unwavering faith is the fuel that accelerates your journey toward a life of complete prosperity. Now that you have seen that unwavering faith is the fuel of abundance, we need to reveal another spiritual secret: the importance of gratitude as a portal to multiplication. 12. Gratitude, the portal of multiplication. Gratitude is the key that unlocks invisible doors and activates the flow of prosperity. Those who are thankful for little pave the way to receive much. Gratitude does not wait for abundance to arrive before celebrating. It celebrates so that abundance may arrive. A grateful heart becomes a magnet for constant and multiplied blessings. Many live their lives complaining, and complaint is the blockade of abundance. Gratitude, on the other hand, is the portal connecting you to the Creator. Those who give thanks acknowledge the source of all things. And when you honor the source continues to pour into your life ceaselessly. Gratitude is a covenant with the divine. Gratitude is not merely a feeling, it's a life stance. Gratitude is active, manifesting itself through words, actions, and thoughts. The grateful individual declares victory even before witnessing the outcome. They understand they are already dwelling within the flow of prosperity, and as a result, they attract even more of what they already possess. Gratitude also transforms perspectives. Where the ungrateful see lack, the grateful see opportunity. Where the ungrateful see a desert, the grateful see hidden seeds. Gratitude illuminates one's vision and opens their eyes to existing riches. When you learn to appreciate what you have, the universe entrusts you with even more. Gratitude is prophetic. Every time you give thanks, you are decreeing in the spiritual realm that which is yet to manifest in the natural. The grateful person calls into existence that which does not yet exist. They plant words of abundance and harvest multiplied results. Gratitude is the language of faith. Multiplication does not occur on the grounds of dissatisfaction, but rather flourishes in the fertile soil of gratitude. Those who fail to appreciate what they possess lose even the little they have. Conversely, those who do appreciate it receive ever more. Gratitude attracts, protects, and multiplies. It is a creative energy that expands all it touches. Gratitude is the portal to multiplication because it repositions your mind and opens space for the new. When you give thanks, you honor. When you honor, you expand. When you expand, you multiply. An abundant life doesn't start with abundance. It starts with a grateful heart. Gratitude is the password to infinite prosperity. Now that you understand gratitude is the portal to multiplication, let's delve into a principle that seals the entire process: the power of inspired action. 13. Inspired action, the touch that manifests dreams. The law of attraction is not solely completed through thought and emotion. It is inspired action that seals the cycle of manifestation. Thinking attracts, feeling magnetizes, but acting is the final touch that materializes. It is insufficient to merely dream of prosperity. One must take concrete steps toward it. Inspired action differs from forced action. It originates from an alignment with intuition. Inspired action arrives like a divine breath. It's that inner impulse that says, call this person, send this proposal, start this project. It's the voice of abundance guiding your next step. When you listen and obey, the universe shifts to unlock doors that were previously shut. Inspired action is faith in motion. Many block prosperity by waiting for grand signs, but inspired action is often simple. It could be an email, a conversation, a change in habit. The right small step is worth more than 1,000 unacted upon intentions. Every obeyed action becomes a planted seed, which sooner or later will bear fruit. The distinction between common action and inspired action lies in the energy that underpins them. Common action stems from anxiety. Inspired action arises from confidence. When you act from inspiration, there is no wasted effort, only fluidity. The universe collaborates, people materialize, resources emerge. Everything begins to conspire in favor of the one who heeds aligned intuition. Inspired action is also immediate. Don't wait for the perfect scenario to act. Perfection lies in starting. Those who postpone miss opportunities. Those who act at the right time find doors opened. Inspired action is like a wave. If you surf it at the right moment, it carries you far. If you hesitate, it passes and does not return. Prosperity requires movement. Money is energy. Ideas are energy. Relationships are energy. All that stagnates, decays. All that flows, grows. Inspired action keeps the flow active, and the universe rewards those who move in faith. It's not about doing a lot, but about doing what is right, at the right time, in the right way. Therefore, dream, visualize, declare, but also act. Inspired action is the point of contact between the invisible and the visible. It is the human hand touching the divine. Every step taken in faith opens paths of abundance. Whoever unites thought, emotion, and inspired action manifests dreams. Because prosperity is not luck, it is alignment with the source. Now that you understand the power of inspired action, we must close this cycle with the highest key of all, purpose, which imbues prosperity with meaning and expands your life beyond yourself. 14. Purpose. Prosperity that transcends true prosperity isn't measured solely by what you accumulate, but by the impact your life generates. Purpose is the compass of abundance. Those who live without purpose chase after the wind, but those who discover their mission attract limitless resources. Purpose imbues wealth with meaning and transforms gains into an eternal legacy. Prosperity devoid of purpose breeds emptiness. How many have amassed material wealth yet felt impoverished in spirit? This is because abundance only flourishes when it is tethered to a greater why. Purpose is the bridge connecting your gifts to the world's needs. It is when what you possess transforms into a blessing for many. Every person is born with a unique spark, an exclusive calling. Prosperity is igniting that spark and expanding it. When you live on purpose, abundance ceases to be an endeavor and becomes a flow. The universe supports those aligned with their mission, for the mission is an integral part of the divine plan. Purpose transcends the ego. It's not merely about what you desire, but about what you were born to manifest. It's about excellently serving that which only you can deliver. Those who grasp this realize that prosperity isn't solely about receiving. It's also about becoming a conduit of blessings. Purpose transforms wealth into legacy. True prosperity is sustainable because it is born from purpose. Resources come and go, but purpose endures. Those who live by purpose never truly impoverish themselves, for they will always possess meaning. Life expands when it is not lived solely for oneself. Purpose unlocks doors that money alone could never open. When purpose guides, prosperity naturally multiplies. People are drawn in, opportunities manifest, and paths become clear. The universe conspires in favor of those aligned with their divine mission. The prosperity that transcends is not temporary, it is eternal. It continues to resonate long after you are gone. Therefore, strive to prosper with purpose. May your wealth be more than mere numbers. May it be seeds of transformation. May each accomplishment be a conduit for inspiration. May each victory be proof that abundance is real. Purpose is the prosperity that transcends time, space, and the self. And thus we close this cycle of teachings. From mind to purpose, from gratitude to inspired action, from dream to manifestation. You now hold in your hands a complete map of spiritual and practical prosperity. The map of prosperity. We have reached the culmination of this journey, though in truth it marks merely the commencement of your awakening. You now hold the keys to everlasting prosperity. Each principle unveiled was not merely uttered, it was a seed sown within your heart. And seeds, when nurtured, blossom into fruit-bearing trees that nourish generations. Prosperity is not happenstance, it is a choice. It is not luck, it is alignment. You were fashioned for abundance, not scarcity. Within you resides the spark of creation, the divine breath that attracts, manifests, and expands. When mind, emotion, faith, action, and purpose coalesce, reality bends to your vision. You have learned that gratitude is the portal, inspired action is the final touch, and purpose is the prosperity that transcends. Now nothing can stop you. For one who walks in gratitude, acts in faith, and lives with purpose becomes unstoppable. They become a light amidst darkness, a beacon in the midst of storms. Do not allow fear to silence your voice, nor doubt to extinguish your brilliance. You are the architect of your reality. Every thought is a brick, every emotion is mortar, every inspired action is construction. You are not a victim of fate. You are a co-creator with the Creator. You do not ask, you decree. The universe is already conspiring in your favor. The flow of prosperity has been activated. It is now your responsibility to remain aligned, vigilant, and steadfast in faith. Do not return to the desert of mental scarcity. Remain in the fertile land of spiritual abundance. For prosperity is not a place, it is a state of being. And I declare over you, doors will open, paths will be illuminated, resources will come from where you least expect them. Prosperity will follow you because you have already become prosperity. Everything you touch will flourish. Everything you dream of will take shape. Everything you visualize will become reality. This is your time. This is your calling. Rise as a living testament to divine abundance. Be a channel, be a voice, be a light. Do not merely thrive, but overflow. And as you overflow, inspire others to believe, to dream, and to manifest. For the prosperity you activate within yourself will echo eternally in the world. You didn't just hear words, you received a decree. The journey has been completed, but the harvest begins now.